Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the second season of the Surrogate podcast. I'm Ellie and I'm so excited to be your guest host today. In this episode, we'll be talking a little bit about matching and getting to know your IPs. Today, I'm joined by Kay, Eduardo and Daniel, who are going to walk us through their journey and how they met each other. I'm going to hand over to the lovely Kay to tell us a little bit about herself, and we'll make our way around the group before we get stuck in.
Thanks, Ellie. It's nice to be sat in this chair. I'm the usual host of the podcast, so it's nice to be sat in the guest chair. I'm Kay. I am the head of global strategy, policy and ethics at my surrogacy journey. I am also a doula and a specialist in baby loss, and I am a surrogate for these two lovely humans over here. This is my second surrogacy journey, first pregnancy, and yeah, just really, really thrilled to be here to talk on this topic.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I am Eduardo Camarina. I am a Spanish architect. I live in London, and I moved there with Daniel, my partner. And for us, it was really always a plan to be parents. And we started looking into surrogacy in 2023, and we met Kay, and there is this history, but we'll speak about it later.
This episode, the rest is this episode.
The rest is still ongoing.
Hello, my name is Daniel. I am Edu's husband. I'm also from Spain originally. I'm a video games designer. We've been living in London for more than 10 years. And now we are on this journey with Kay, and we are waiting a baby girl that will be born in November, late November, in less than...
I like how confidently you said that. Yeah, she'll be born in November. 27.
No,
The decision. The husband married.
Do we love this?
Let's say around 2 months. Let's lead it up.
Soon, very soon. So I'm actually lucky enough to know a little bit of the backstory of how these lovely lot met. But for those that don't know, could you give us a little overview on how you actually met each other?
Yeah, who's going? Who's telling it? You tell it.
So we were exploring different ways to become parents, being a gay couple. So we looked into co-parenting, we looked into adoption, we also looked into surrogacy. And in September 2023, we went to the Modern Family show. But before, we had met Wes, the director of my surrogacy journey. We had a call with him. I think that was in July, and it was we were quite intrigued by the organization, and we were quite intrigued by the idea of UK surrogacy. So when we went to this event, to this family building event in September, we found the stand of my surrogacy journey, and we saw this punk-looking chick, quite cool. She seemed edgy and approachable.
Oh, I'm taking that as money cake.
But yeah, exactly, because sometimes they go hand in hand, and we just we just went and talked to her, and this person happened to be Kay, and it was quite interesting for us because it was probably the first time that we met someone who wanted to be a surrogate. Well, that was already a surrogate, and she explained her her experience with this other journey, the journey before us. And I think there was such a strong connection that that was probably the main reason why we decided that UK surrogacy was right for us. Even before, of course, at that time we didn't speak about, going on a journey together. It was just an experience. But I think it left such a strong impression on us that we decided that probably we wanted to do UK surrogacy and go with my surrogacy journey.
And then later on, we met each other again. We found each other in another event, a summer party. And we had the same strong connection. And we just felt like there was so many things we had in common that we felt like we really want to know more about this person. So that was the reason why we just started, thinking more of, okay, surrogacy in the UK is going to be the thing. And again, the rest is history.
And then Kay, from your point of view, was that instant spark, that instant connection there as well?
Yes, it was, but I wasn't looking to go on a journey. So when the Modern Family show happened in 2023, I was a month and a half post my last embryo transfer with a couple that I was matched with before, and we hadn't got pregnant on the whole journey. So I was like having a break and not sure what the next steps were. And then we're at the Modern Family show. And it's kind of funny because I had just stepped in to cover somebody else on the stand for a little bit, because I don't work in our membership side of things, so I wouldn't ordinarily be there. I'd be talking about ethics in a lecture or something. But I was covering on the stand, and this guy walks up and we start chatting, and I was like, oh my goodness, whoever gets to be the like IPs for the surrogate for this set of IPs is like in luck. These guys are incredible, and they kind of had me at electronic dance music, to be honest. I think when we sort of worked out that we were on the same sort of vibe for where we like to go out, yeah, they had me. But they walked away from the stand and I thought, oh my gosh, like whoever gets to be their surrogate, like lucky them, they're amazing. And then we were recording the roll forward to February, the following year, we were recording season 1 of the Surrogate podcast. And I think 3 days in studio talking about surrogacy made me go, no, this is it. I have to do another journey. That isn't, complete for me yet. And I remember saying to the co-host then, Hayley Aldis, I said, like, the thing is, there's only one couple I want to do it for, and I've got no idea what their names are or how to reach them. I met them at the Modern Family show. And so we spent one afternoon scrolling through all the profiles. And I was like, no, it's not them, 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 it's not them. But I didn't know that these guys had joined MSJ, but they hadn't reached, because they didn't have embryos, they hadn't reached a point of building their profile. So it was this sort of futile thing of me going, oh, no, fine. And then lo and behold, our summer conference that year in the evening, these guys had signed up as members. And out the corner of my eye, I went, oh my gosh, it's them. And yeah, probably ran over slightly too enthusiastically and was like, hi. And I think offered to be your surrogate within about 15 minutes after that.
15 days probably? 15 days, yeah. Yeah.
And was it an instant yes from you guys? No sort of reservations or anything?
I think we couldn't believe that the person that we had such a strong connection was actually suggesting to be our surrogate. We thought that, I don't know, it's like the stars getting along, like karma, the universe, something, just telling us, okay, like this is it. This is the time, this is the person, this is the moment, this is what you have to do. So yeah, it was pretty much an instant. I mean, we were in shock. I remember we were in shock for 10 minutes, like 10 really long minutes, just no one was talking. We just like, oh, did she really say that?
Yeah, I was at home expecting a particular home delivery. And so we're checking my phone all the time, and I get this Instagram message from Kay, and Kay is a very straightforward person, which I find funny, but also it puts me at ease because I know that she's always speaking up her mind, which is great. She was very straightforward, she was like, hey guys, like, how would you feel about this? And I think I went to the bedroom, to show the message to Danny. We were all super happy. I mean, we took a couple of hours to process because I read in a book that is good when you get news. But yes, it was very much an instant yes for us. Like, I think it was really like, it was funny because it was sort of written somewhere. Like, because really it was at the end, we were like closing this circle or starting another loop in the circle with the very person that had made us join MSJ. So it was kind of, there was something like a prophecy.
Yeah, like meant to be.
Like it was meant to be, and then it has been a great journey so far, so I think it's really...
Yeah, it's been magic. I think it's also interesting and probably useful for the podcast to reflect on, like, this isn't how it always goes.
Experience
for everyone, like we are I feel extremely fortunate that, we've matched in this very, very friendship-based and kind of magical way. But also surrogates can match really kind of transactionally with IPs as well, because people are looking for different things. I was always going to be a surrogate who was like, I want the closest relationship we can possibly have, hands on belly, in the birth pool with me. Like that's a bit of me, that's always going to be how I'm going to be. Like, let's be part of each other's lives throughout this journey together. I can't imagine doing surrogacy in a different way. So knowing that came with these guys, and I really felt that, and we were instantly sort of, our friendship groups in London were sort of merging and what have you, was really key. But I know that's not the case for us, or it's not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So
building off of that a little bit, as 3 people who have obviously very much been on the same page all the way through, have you ever had those like little awkward conversations? Surrogacy is such a big thing.
Yeah.
There's bound to be an awkward conversation or two.
I don't think awkward is the word. I mean, we had lots of conversations, obviously, because there is a lot to discuss, which makes total sense. But no, I think all the conversations we had some surprises, but they were all very positive surprises. I think one of the things that we really love about you is that we share the same values and, lifestyle. Like we are very aligned when it comes to the kind of journey we want to have, and also how, once the baby is born, like the relation we want the baby to have with you and with your family and everyone else. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say awkward at all. It was just surprising, but in the best possible way.
Yeah, I think because we were just reflecting on this on our way here on the train, and I think this is like a relationship between IPs and a surrogate is like any other relationship, so you need to agree on the basics. It's fine if you don't agree on absolutely everything. The important thing is that you agree on the important things. And even if you find a situation where you actually don't, you can just talk things through, and I think for us, like, it was very important as well that from the very beginning, we always, at least on our end, we felt like we didn't have to pretend to be someone else, that just being ourselves was good enough and was good. And we could just, speak and have frank conversations about very much anything, and that was good, no? So.
And is that advice that you'd give to other IPs?
Absolutely. I think probably the first advice that I would give is be natural. I mean, be yourself, be transparent, however you want to put it. I think it makes no sense to pretend to be someone else or to say something or do something so you are liked, because if you're doing something you don't feel comfortable with, you're gonna, in the future,
It's going to come up.
It's gonna come up. It's gonna come back to you. You're gonna regret it. So it makes just no sense. It's, as Edu was describing, it's like having in any relationship. If you are, like we two are married, it's the same. I wanted him to know me, to know how I am. I'm not gonna pretend to be a person that is not myself, because he's gonna find out anyway, and it's not, I think, the way to go. And also probably the second advice is that things take time, and sometimes, as you said before, things don't just happen magically at first. Same as when you're looking for someone to spend your life with, a partner. Sometimes you meet someone and that's not the right person. That's fine, You just keep trying, and that's absolutely fine. I think sometimes we try to get things as soon as possible, and with things like this type of journeys, just take your time and just make sure that every single step that you take, you always feel comfortable. I mean, everyone involved is comfortable and happy.
It's ironic what I'm now about to say is that I guess if there was a piece of advice I was giving to any surrogates or IPs, particularly on a UK journey where there is likely to be more of that kind of face-to-face getting to know, is to not people please, right? Like you're not on this journey to sell yourself as a surrogate and have your IPs pick you, or sell yourself as IPs and have your surrogate. You're entrusting the life of your child into the womb of a person for a period of time, and that needs to be transparent, because at some point in that journey you're going to have to act on what is true to you, right? Like something's going to come up, a medical decision or something in relation to your family. These guys have been incredible. This has been a really turbulent year for me in kind of personal life, and we didn't foresee any of that. There's been ill health, there's been separation, like things going on in the background of my life, and I couldn't have foreseen any of that when I said to them, "Can I be your surrogate?" Like life was very different at that point, and what has been amazing is to have the relationship foundation where I'm not trying to please them or impress them with that. It's just like, guys, this is going on. And then every time they've caught me with sort of like, okay, cool, well, let's make a new plan, or let's, and just met me in that place. And equally with these guys, it's kind of changes in their life or decisions that they're making around how they want to birth, how they want to feed, how they want to be with the baby, different plans around maybe future journeys as well. Things have changed from when we first met. And I think if we'd gone into it trying to impress each other all the time, I wouldn't be sat next to, well, I'm now sat next to two really, really good friends as well as parents to the baby that I'm caring for them. And I think that comes from sort of genuinely journeying together. So
I think something that's quite interesting about you three specifically is you're actually quite far away, but you still manage to maintain a really, really close bond. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you sort of make that work? Do you kind of schedule check-ins? Does it flow naturally?
Again, like friendships is a mix between both. So you plan a bit because, like friends, you can't just expect to find them on the street. You need to plan a bit, but also being quite relaxed. Like on the note of, I think this is, of course, very much specific to UK journeys and these type of arrangements. But I think, of course, at the beginning of our journey, you have the intentions agreement where you try to set as much as possible, how the journey is going to be. I think one thing that we all agreed on was on not having a rigid schedule, as in we need to call each other once a week, twice a week, once a month, because at the end, we know that relationships don't work that way. And I think experience has really proved that we were right, because at the end we are just very natural. Some weeks we speak every day, some weeks we speak every second day. I mean, we speak quite often. We have a WhatsApp group and we are like either texting quite regularly. But at the same time, on the other hand, as much as we are relaxed, of course, we've done, trips together. Kay came to Spain with us to meet our families, and that was lovely. And I think particularly, it's very important to spend time together, just because I think at the beginning, particularly because we were really far from each other, at least for myself, I think I struggled at the beginning because a bit with the fact that we were gonna see each other for like 2 hours. So then I was feeling an internal pressure of, oh my God, I need to make the most out of this. So we need to speak about every single topic. And I think the benefit of increasing the frequency or like doing some effort to, okay, maybe we don't see each other in a month, but then we spend a weekend in Devon, is that we can just relax and just, spend moments in silence.
And eat.
And eat a lot and nap.
We've done so much eating and so much napping the last 9 months.
Eating is always on the table.
Not years.
But no, I think that's totally true. And particularly because the really odd thing with the surrogacy journey is that it begins with all your fertility appointments. So you don't go into things like if you don't give enough attention to the getting to know, suddenly you're sat, and I will never forget being sat in a room with Eduardo. I think for some reason there was an appointment that Danny couldn't come to, and Eduardo was with me, and we're also making this documentary with around the journey, and the film director is also a gay man, and I was suddenly aware, like, oh my gosh, there's 2 gay men in a gynecological appointment with a woman. This is brand new, right? Like, they have never been in this situation. My God, they must be feeling like all kinds of things right now. Like, we're using some words, but they're not gonna. If your relationship starts with just all the fertility appointments, they're regular, right, at the beginning. Like, there's a lot of, we saw each other probably more frequently when we were with Hearts and Essex than we do right now, although obviously that's about to ramp up again. But if you don't feel comfortable with those people at that point, like, suddenly you're going to be there having conversations. The fertility clinic aren't holding back, They're going to ask you what they need to ask you. So I think having that foundation of like, yeah, we've also hung out. We know, like, before we started any treatment, we partied together, we hung and barbecued together, you'd hung out and met the kids. Like, there'd been a number of things that had happened beforehand, so it didn't feel quite as awkward going straight into fertility conversations.
And obviously the 3 of you went through the matching, getting to know process through MSJ. Would you say there's anything specifically there that sticks out as opposed to doing it independently from your guys' perspective as IPs and then UK as a surrogate? Where's the difference between doing it independently on your own and then having an organisation behind you?
I mean, I think I would probably say our journey's a little bit uniquely outside of that, in the sense that I work for MSJ. So when we joke about the number of hats that we wear, but, I kind of probably steered that myself a little bit. But what I would say is I'm incredibly pro-agency approach to getting to know. I think that, and I'd go back probably to what I said earlier about the people-pleasing thing. Like, in the independent community, what I see, I'm part of quite a lot of the online communities where independent journeys sort of start, is a bit more of a selling of oneself. What my surrogacy journey do is support surrogates and IPs to be really transparent and honest about what they're looking for, build profiles around that, come into their journeys with some prior knowledge of all the things they need to be looking out for. So that might have involved a clinical appointment for me with Debbie, that might have involved some screening for these guys. So you're not just coming and going like, high, meeting IPs and surrogates is often compared to online dating. It's sort of this kind of awkward, like, how? And I'm really grateful that our journey's been a little bit more organic than that.
Yep.
But also, MSJ are very, very, very experienced in making sure that people ask the right questions, kind of plan the right way of approaching it. Don't overpromise. Don't start to...
What are those right questions for anyone wondering?
Let's think about some of the ones that were like right questions for us. So I actually sent these guys after saying I met by WhatsApp, like, I would like to be a surrogate, or however I phrase that. Be a surrogate. Spoons will tear it. Be in the notes. I actually sent these guys an email, which was things you should kind of know about me before saying yes. Essentially, like, kind of these are some of my lines in the sand and some of the things that I would be like reasons behind it, motivations behind it, things that I want to be really specific about. It's probably the longest email I've ever sent either of you. But that felt really important to me. I'd been on a journey already. I'd learned some stuff about myself in terms of surrogacy. I know it's really important to me that why I do it is part of that. So that was kind of how we started, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's again going back to the transparency thing, that just knowing why everyone is doing this and like what the expectation is, just talking through all the topics and making sure that we are aligned. And as we said before, like maybe there is one or two things that we are not exactly on the same page. Those are things that we can talk through. I think that always happens, even when you have, with any friendship, with any relationship, you always have something that you may disagree at first, and then you just talk through that, and that's fine. But yeah.
I think just regarding the right questions, somehow I really remember one question that Wes asked us during our first call 6 months before joining the organization. He said, how does your ideal family look like? And I find this very, very much like the first big question, because that would sort of condition a lot of conversations that come later around embryo generation, for instance, like things that we have to take into account, so I think in that sense, the support of MSJ was great. Although, as Kay said, we were a bit of like a funny, like partially in, partially out, because probably until embryo generation, it was a fully MSJ normal journey. But of course, the matching process, we skipped it because we did it.
Someone took it into their own.
We started it before.
But it was not only Kay, it's also that it had already sort of started in our minds before, even though, it happened quite organically, like in a way we met before joining MSA. So,
but also that happens on other journeys, So like it's worth saying that MSJ support quite a lot of interfamiliar relationships where there's maybe a sister-in-law who's chosen to carry for a couple who have got infertility issues in their relationship, but they're related to them. That is quite a common thing. So I think for other people who are listening, it's like, it doesn't have to be this linear process of coming in and going, okay, get to know your IPs. You might come in an established unit already and just go, we're at this stage, but actually all of the other benefits of being a member of MSJ, we need the hand-holding for. We want that membership service to support us through all the legals or the clinicals. That is still as applicable, even if you've known each other all your lives. It is really, really important that the getting to know in surrogacy context is new to whether you knew each other or not, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Thank you guys so much. If you could say some final words about the matching and getting to know process, let's say you could kind of summarize your experience in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
In 3 words. Wow. I think it's very cheesy, but I'm going to say magical. It really felt magical to me. It felt like it can like carve my universe, like things just getting aligned magically. Enriching as well, maybe the second word that I would choose. Getting to know Kay and, like just everything about her family, her friends, and her work as a doula, as a grief coach. Like I feel like I've learned so much in the last 2 years. It's crazy. And the third one, roller coaster as well. Maybe that's because it's a big journey. There are so many things that you have to manage and, like talk through. And obviously it's many people involved as well. So yeah, it's a roller coaster, but a really nice roller coaster. I feel like it's an exciting roller coaster.
Like a teacup ride rather than like the smart.
Like Nemesis.
Yeah.
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 I think I would say maybe I would also bring to the table, because it was implicit but we didn't talk about it. I think there is admiration in our journey. Again, I'm not sure if this is needed for every journey. I know that in our journey that has been a very important part of the way we see each other. That has made things quite easier. So I think we really admire each other and we really respect each other and have a lot of empathy and friendship for words. Yeah, whatever. I think those would be me.
Yeah, all of the above. I would probably go for like an adaptability in any journey is like, there's going to be something, even if it is this beautiful, magical, like our relationship, there's going to be points where you have to adapt. So having adaptability is really, really good. Honesty, just being as honest as you possibly can about how you feel about it. Like being dishonest in pregnancy is ridiculous. So it's just, but at some point this is going to get really honest. So yeah, being honest all the way throughout is really good. And I know it's 3 words, but don't people please. I think that sell yourself as you actually are.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode and you want to find out more about MSJ and our completely unique surrogate membership, then head over to our website at www.mysurrogacyjourney.com or check us out on Instagram at @officialmysurrogacyjourney. Thanks for listening. This has been season 2 of the Surrogate Podcast.